With the virus surging in several provinces, more children are becoming infected.
It's just scary to see how many children are being affected by the variants.
In Ontario, scientists say for the first time, 5 public health units found more than 10% of people tested had the virus. That's considered high. But in children aged 3 to 18, the numbers were even higher.
There's a lot of COVID that's kind of lurking beneath the surface that we're not even aware of.
During this pandemic, 955 Canadians under 19 have been hospitalized. 8 have died. But with variant cases rising in Nova Scotia, Sharon Beasley worries the virus might now be more dangerous for kids.
I just feel like I'm in a bit of a void, that there's really no information.
When we're seeing increased transmission in the community, we can expect to see more kids and youth with rare complications of COVID-19.
But she adds the risk of death hasn't changed. A British study comparing the effect of the variant first identified in the UK with the original virus found no evidence of more severe disease in children.
Very rarely, children might get a little sicker and might require medical attention. And what I would say to parents is there are 3 particular things I would look out for.
If a child is having difficulty breathing, refusing to eat and drink, or being unusually lethargic or unresponsive, doctors say don't hesitate. Go to your local hospital. As for when kids might be able to get vaccinated,
I expect it's going to be a little while before children make it onto the priority list because, quite frankly, they don't get as sick as adults do.
Based on medical conditions, Alberta is offering vaccine shots to kids aged 12 to 15, but wider use will depend on Health Canada approvals. Scientists in Ontario say they can't see students going back to class in this school year, but they're hoping kids can be vaccinated by September. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
So let's pick up on some of that with Dr. Jacqueline Wong, an infectious diseases specialist at McMaster Children's Hospital. So Dr. Wong, as Christine mentioned, some kids between 12 and 15 with underlying health conditions could get the Pfizer in Alberta. What do we know about the safety and efficacy of these vaccines in kids?
Yes, so the information that we have right now is still kind of limited. It's still that press release from Pfizer at the end of March. And so far, the results are promising. It looks like the immune response in children in that age group is comparable to adults they've studied. And from a safety and tolerability perspective, it looks good as well. Kind of similar mild symptoms like achiness, headache, mild malaise, that kind of thing.
And as long as they're unvaccinated and waiting their turn, what should kids and parents keep in mind in the meantime? Can they see their vaccinated family members, for example?
Yeah, social interactions are so important, and we just need to do it safely because there's variability in who's vaccinated and how many shots of the vaccine they've gotten. So with the good weather coming, thankfully, let's try to have as many of those interactions outdoors so that we can be spaced apart, so that we can get good ventilation. And if you're in a scenario where you can't keep that distance all the time, remembering to wear your mask, hand sanitizing, hand washing, kind of the same principles that we've known all along.
Okay. Dr. Wong, thank you as always.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.